the City.
What is going on, St. Louis City fans? Welcome back to another episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media. Today is Tuesday. It has been almost 2 weeks. Almost 1 week, Jesus Christ, since St. Louis took on LAFC at home. Obviously, we haven't done an episode about that. And on Saturday, we took on FC Cincinnati in Cincinnati. And if you're surprised to see us doing a podcast after these two pretty poor defeats, we're right alongside you. Can't believe we're here doing it. Let's start with LAFC. Mickey, say something.
Worst refereeing I've ever seen in my life. Ever. It was horrible. We actually went to that stupid game.
Yeah, that was a tough watch.
Yeah.
Both of these games were tough to watch, but
I think this one more tough to watch.
yeah, we were in the stands. You pay to go. You're in the supporter section.
Plus, they just weren't better than us.
Yeah, we got lucky in early stretch of the game. I guess we can start with the lineup. We didn't really switch anything up, I don't think. I think it was
from Chicago,
same lineup, which, ain't broke, don't fix it. I like the mentality there. And in the first 10 minutes of the game, we're the better side for sure. And on a corner, Lloris comes out and tries to clear and kind of just barely gets a hand on it. Falls to the edge of the box. Klaus goes and picks it up and tries to cross it back in. And somebody hits it with their hand on the way in, and we finally get a VAR decision that goes our way. And
in stadium announcement, I know you guys said that you didn't really hear it.
I first of all, we need to see it. They need to show the VAR on the screens. That is bare minimum.
I don't know. Do they do that in the Prem?
Yes.
I don't
They
think
show
they do.
it. They say checking VAR, and then they'll put up the video once they start showing the referee the video.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe Manchester City doesn't.
I don't think that's true, but I'll let you guys spit.
But go off.
It is true. And
all right, buddy.
We get a penalty.
Yeah, we get a pen, and Klaus, the man of the moment, steps up to take it. Because honestly, I don't know about you guys. That's who I would have chosen to take the penalty based on who was on the field. I think he's a close second for me because he's young and very confident.
Klaus has already converted one this year.
That dog shit penalty that he just did.
His other one this year worked. He did that same run-up and was successful.
Worst keeper.
Yeah, that's partially true. He was going up against a World Cup winner in Hugo Lloris.
Yep. Well, but Hugo Lloris is also notably poor at penalties. Me and the boy Mo Sek were up chatting up about his penalties.
So more and more reasons to be furious that Klaus did not even get it off the ground, bro. Hit it hard enough off the ground.
I don't think you have to get it off the ground. I just think that there's a lot of different ways to take the penalty, and I just feel like the way he does it is not that consistent. Leuven gets up there and fucking walks up and rips it, bro.
Yeah.
And I prefer that if you're not a higher caliber player.
Well, if you're going to do your little stutter step walk up, then the purpose of that should be sending the goalie the wrong way and then adjusting to that. Mm-hmm. But he does neither of those things and just seems like he has a corner in mind and just does not switch from.
He doesn't even get it all the way to the corner either.
No, it's
a terrible penalty.
It's very savable for Lloris.
Riley would have saved that pen.
You're giving me a lot of credit, but I will take 100% of it.
No, man, you've saved
That's
crazier
right
penalties of mine than that.
Have I?
Yeah, but the pressure's not on.
I must have been blacked out or something.
I was in the zone.
He seems to black out every time that he's
touches
saving
the
pitch.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
harsh.
That is pretty much the tone setter for the game because we could be 1-0 up against a top squad in the West. I don't know if they were they top of the table at that time.
No, they were
second
above
or third?
us. No, they were 6th or 7th, I think, before they played us.
But I know this. They have the worst away record in the league. They had played 5 games before coming to St. Louis and only garnered 1 point from their 5 away fixtures. And then they come to St. Louis, we miss a penalty, and then the next kind of, I guess, notable point in the game is the Marcanic goal that gets disallowed via VAR. How did you guys feel about that one?
I understand that, like, it's a pen, but I also feel as though he couldn't really put his arms anywhere closer to his body. You know?
meant handball?
Handball.
Oh, sorry,
Not a
yeah, handball.
I'm following.
Yeah, my bad. Like, they tell you to keep your arms in your silhouette so that there's not a handball.
Mm-hmm.
His arms are, like, tight to his body.
They're in front of him for sure, and I think his arm definitely catches the ball.
Yeah, it's definitely
puts it in a
handball.
favorable position for him. Definite handball for me. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I agree. It's a handball. It's just a tough spot because I think he's kind of tangled up with another player. Like, a guy is in front of him and he is, behind him with his arms into his back, and then he kind of like floats back to try and let the ball come to him, and it does, and it just happens to hit him right in his hands.
It would have been a great redeeming moment for Marcanic.
He was having a fucking horror show
Because,
and proceeded to have one
Yeah.
for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Not very long.
It was pretty interesting. I was up in the press box watching, and like probably 15 minutes in, Oliveras and Bouanga swapped sides. Bouanga saw Marcanic and said, "Oh, I'm finna feast.
I'm hungry."
I'm finna feast," and
I'm
swapped
foaming at
sides
the
and
mouth.
cooked him. Hebert came on, cooked Hebert. Bouanga was in the kitchen in St. Louis. Yeah, and like moments after that Marcanic goal gets called back, who was it? Who played the assist to Bouanga? Bogus just like picks his head up, spots Bouanga making a delicious run. Marcanic like tries to jump in front of Bouanga to like get him off sides, but we're not even playing a high line. Totland is definitely holding him on, and he's just free runner into space. Clinical finish, does a front flip in front of the north end.
Didn't he chip him? Or is that
1-0.
the second goal?
Second goal.
No, that's second goal. It's late on in the game. Yeah, and at this point in the game, Celio and Marcanic both have yellow cards. And this is something we were talking about in stadium. Like, I feel like everyone, including Carnell, has to be able to see that Marcanic is going to get sent off if he plays 90 minutes. Like, he got a yellow card in 20 minutes. Like, within 27 minutes, he's already on a yellow. That's someone that needs to come off at half. And he continues playing, plays up until the 75th minute after we're down 1-0. And while I don't necessarily agree with the call, it was kind of coming. And, like, you're asking for it by allowing him to stay on the pitch. And Marcanic gets a second yellow for, we can kind of argue the validity of the second yellow, because I don't really think it's a second yellow, but he gets it via referee's discretion, which was terrible on the night, and now we're down to 10 men with basically no hope in this.
Terrible decision.
Yeah.
Terrible decision.
And I thought we were actually playing well, like trying to stay in this game up until that Marcanic second yellow. Like, we had Berkey pushed all the way up to half. We were possessing in their defensive third for like majority of that second half. And once that second yellow came, I mean, it was just a moment of time before LAFC broke on us, because we continued to try to play very high up the field and keep the ball, in their defensive third. And it just takes one moment when you're down to 10 men to just fucking play a ball over the top into Denny Bouanga, quickest man on the field. They were all hella quick. Every single one of them. Oliveras was quick. Timmy Tillman, while the USMNT fans despise him and all the MLS lifers, I thought he looked pretty good in this game. Definitely lacks a little bit of defensive awareness, but like, I thought him on the ball looked really good.
Yeah.
Why don't you marry him?
I think we were in the game until that moment, and like where he gets the way he gets the second yellow speaks to that, in the sense that he settles the ball after like a corner, I think, on the outside of the 18 and tries to beat Ilie.
He does beat him.
Yeah, he does kind of beat him, and
gets
Ilie like
fouled.
grabs him,
Yeah.
and then his hand like flies up and hits Ilie in the face. And so he gets a second yellow for that. At first, I thought he gave it for simulation because I didn't think it was like that much of a foul. But I didn't think it was a yellow card. And then when you watch it back, I don't think that's a yellow card.
I thought it was a yellow card for Ilie.
I don't know if it's a yellow card for Ilie, but I thought if anything it was going to be a foul on Ilie. And then when he gave Marcanic the second yellow, I was like, did he just give that for simulation? Because I didn't see anything that you have to go back and watch it in slow mo. I guess the ref had a good view of it.
It especially did not look like a foul from upstairs.
Sometimes slow mo makes it worse in a lot of ways.
Because in reality, Marcanic is just trying to spin around, and his arm is extended, and it does hit him in the face. But it's like he's not maliciously trying to hit the dude in the face.
It's also momentum from getting pulled.
It's an athletic movement.
Yeah, you're running and you're getting held on. You're gonna twist a little bit.
Well, he's just pivoting around. He's just swinging his whole body, and his arm is an extension of that.
Horrible officiating. That wasn't the only point of horrible officiating.
The first 15 minutes, this dude is there was 2 distinct plays that I remember where he's just standing in our passing lanes, and the ball goes through his feet, takes a touch off of him, whatever. It's like, bro, fucking get out of the way.
It's not just that. He was actually
his decision making was also bad. Yeah,
horrible.
It was all
and I'm tired
disaster
of
class.
It. We did play well. It's not like they beat the shit out of us. We played way better in this game than Cincinnati. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I would bet the reverse fixture. I bet we'll have a little more fight in us in the reverse fixture, because this one hurts.
At least
we're looking to climb in the Western Conference, and this game was a big opportunity for us to jump up in the table.
I mean, if they're not as good as they were last year, then realistically that's a pretty big tiebreaker not to have in our back pockets.
I'm thinking about it now, and we played a Giroud-less LAFC, and when we play them again, they will have World Cup winner Olivier Giroud.
I just feel like last season there was at least some it felt more like home field advantage with the refs being shit. As whether that was, maybe I was being delusional, but it really felt like that last season. At least
both ways.
Last season when we were getting shit calls, it was in Kansas City and stuff. But now we're just getting shit refs at home, away, everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna talk about the Cincy game in a little, and I think Celio holds Acosta more, and it's in the box. But those are pretty similar fouls in the way that they're committed, in the sense that he takes a touch outside of the defender and tries to beat him for pace, and the guy holds him. And then, Marcanic's hand flies up, and somehow that's the foul that gets called on us, not the foul that Ilie commits. And in the Cincy game, we get a penalty called against us. It's just... you can't have it both ways, and I get that the referee on the field is the one that has to make the call, but he has to make it for us one of these times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so then we can just touch on the last goal of the game for LAFC. Basically Durkin is just trying to possess basically at the halfway line, and there were some moments where he was looking shaky. I mean, the dude has played, 5 times 90? What's 5 times 90?
4,500?
4,500.
450. 50
Durkin has
90.
played that many minutes over the course of the last 5 games, and I felt like in the last 15 minutes he really was showing probably his exhaustion. Totally gets the ball stripped off of him by Bouanga, and nobody's ever catching that man. Berkey races back to his goal, does pretty well to come out, and he does get a hand on the chip attempt, but it trickles into the back of the net. 2-0 GG. That was it. That was the match.
Yeah, I overall I have feelings that are kind of creeping back in about whether or not we are actually capable of creating anything other than a goal scoring opportunity off of a corner. And part of that is coming from the Cincy game, which I don't want to take too much stock from because we'll talk about that, but I do agree with Carnell's decision-making in the sense of playing the first team again on Wednesday against a Western rival. They're not a rival, but they're a team that we're going to be fighting for a playoff spot with, and they're a team that we'd like to have, points off of, as well as, get the 3 points ourselves. So I think that's a better use of the first team. But I feel like it didn't feel like we were going to score, like, ever in this game other than the first, like, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because we don't have a striker. That's the end of my sentence.
Okay.
Also, if we had a striker as imperious as Boanga, we'd have different luck.
Yeah, I mean, Boanga not really a striker though.
I think he'd be better up top for us than our guys would be. But
Yeah.
I think he's just an attacker.
Well, he was front center with both of his goals.
Yeah, well, one was a run in from the right into the middle, and
Yes.
the other one, we're down to 10 men. He just picks his.
Imperious attackers.
There we go.
I feel like we don't have
Being
a lot
too
of...
specific.
I feel like I'm being picked on.
I don't...
the fuck up.
You motherfucker. I
I'm
feel like we
Riley.
don't... Stop. I feel like we don't have a lot of athletes on our team. Like,
Yeah.
people that can seriously just beat people for pace and techers.
Yeah.
Like, Klaus is never doing that.
He's neither.
Yeah. Like, Celio might beat someone. He'll beat somebody off the dribble, and he might beat somebody for pace. Like, you don't see him run by a lot of people, but he's got
Yeah.
speed. But, like,
Some.
Boanga was floating out there,
Floating,
man.
Yeah.
bro.
Floating.
Klaus is like a freight train. He takes like 5 minutes to get to his top speed.
Yeah, he'd
Yeah.
be charging up.
Yeah. Maybe that's why he drops so deep, so that he can get his sprints in on his runs.
I think that's why a lot of people are big fans of Sam, is because
Yeah.
like he's not
He's
They're
explosive.
they're the more we see it, they are total opposites. And I feel like at the beginning of the season, we were like, oh, they're kind of similar profile.
Not at all.
The only thing similar about them is like their height.
yeah,
And
their
the fact
body
that they
style.
can't score goals.
Yeah, like Sam is an athlete. He's definitely the player on our team. I am most likely, like, if I had to bet money on someone beating somebody for pace, it's Sam.
Yeah.
I bet he can yam. But also,
Yeah,
if we
I
could
hope
fucking,
so.
if we could just like combine Klaus and Sam, we'd have an
We'd have the
incredible
best striker in the MLS.
yeah.
If we could just
He'd
combine all
probably
of
go
our
to
players,
Europe.
if we could just combine all of our players into one, then we have the
Yes.
best player.
When are
in
they
the MLS.
dropping that MLS update where you can combine players on your
players.
roster?
How much gamma is that going to run us?
Don, are you listening?
Fusions.
We've got some great ideas over here.
So overall, shit game to lose. Refs were not on our side. Klaus needs to score the fucking pen. It's
Different
about all I
game
have
if
to
we
say.
score that pen.
Totally different. Yes.
We're dubbing that
Oh,
if
man.
Klaus scores that pen.
We're dubbing
Yeah, I
that
agree.
if that fucking goal doesn't get called back.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think the goal getting called back, like, we already got a VAR decision to go our way in that game, getting the handball for the
Mhm.
pen. Like, you just got to put that away, man. And to be fair, we had not missed a penalty yet at all. Like, that's our first one throughout our whole
That
team.
was Klaus's second, yeah.
Yeah. Klaus has hit his first one, missed the other one. Leuven's 100%. That's
I
fine.
need Klaus to adopt the Mo Salah method and just sprint as hard as he can
And
at the ball
blast
and
it.
just blast it to wherever it may go.
Hey, well, Mo Salah been missed some penalties this year, so
That's a good point.
Yeah, so, look,
But
everybody's got
against
their own style. Just put it in the fucking back of the net and go up 1-0.
better goalies.
I'm cool if he keeps his Brazilian style and scores the rest of them.
Right.
But now we can kind of get into the Cincinnati
Yeah.
game. One other thing I just wanted to touch on was that we said that the lineup was identical. Nilsson did come on for Hebert.
Yeah.
That was the only change. And then we move on to Cincinnati, where we get
Lineup is very
a
different.
million changes.
We're playing a 4-4-2.
Yep.
The back line
Horrible.
is Dewar, Nielsen, Hebert, giving Tim Parker some rest, giving Totland some rest, and Marcanic is out, and we're playing Akil Watts out on the right.
Yes.
So totally new back line that has basically never played together.
Yep.
Midfield 3, blown back in the team. Love to see it. I thought he was probably the only bright spot on the field.
And he wasn't even.
And he wasn't even that good, right? Because we got 3 put past us. And then AZ and what other midfielder am I missing? Kojima. And then up top, I'm
Well, it
missing
was
someone.
Pompeu.
Oh, Celio
Yeah, you
did
said
start this
3
one.
in the midfield, but it
4-4-2.
pretty much was 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Which has never worked for us. Not
No.
one time. Not a single goddamn fucking time.
And
Has a
of
4-4-2
course-
Yeah, it's
ever
never
fucking worked for
A
us.
dinner on plus
and we
Klaus.
decide to pull it out of our pocket and put an entire new back line against one of the best teams in the league fuck it, I guess. Right?
I mean, it seems like we're going to have to give our guys some rest. We've been playing the same lineup for 5 weeks. It sucks that we're going up against number 2 in the East, but we simply don't have the longevity to fucking throw out the banger lineup against this team.
Dude, it's fine. I just don't know the fitness levels of our players and if they can withstand this, but I don't think you can do this much rotation.
Yeah.
That is just so many new players.
Especially against this team.
Yeah, I think that's why he did it. It's kind of bro, I don't know if we're going to win this game anyway, so we might as well just give them some rest.
7 new starters from the prior lineup. So.
Yeah, and that's so many. You're putting a whole new central midfield together, a whole new defense together, and hoping that Klaus and Sam can, ping something off of each other when they've literally never even done a 1-2 from what I've watched.
They try to they're magnets.
But the opposite side.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like they hate each other. I genuinely think they might.
Maybe they do, and that might be good for the competition in the spot.
For one striker system.
Yeah. Where it's dude, I'm going to take your spot, and the other one's yeah, fuck no, you're not. But it doesn't work when you got to play them both up top.
It's frustrating. Switch the team if you want. This formation has never worked. Never, not once. It hasn't even looked good, not once.
Well, okay, you're making some pretty high claims. I bet it's worked one time.
All right, maybe, but okay. Look, we've played almost 50 games as a team, and probably 10 of those are with the 4-4-2.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but when you saw that fucking formation, did you not groan a little bit?
Yeah, when I saw the lineup, I groaned. But at the same time, it's kind of uncontrollable. I think we all knew that it was coming.
And I still watched the game.
Yep. I did
the things we do for
live
love.
Streamed it for tens of people to see.
Tens of people. Not even.
No, we had 10 in there for a little bit.
Yeah. Shout out to you if you dropped into the live stream.
Yeah. If you want to come by and say hello during the away fixtures, that's usually what we're doing as we're watching along on YouTube.
Yeah, and if you guys don't come soon, we're going to stop doing it. So
yeah, that's probably true.
But not to get sad, even more sad than this episode's probably already been.
Let's continue. Cincy game.
Wait.
We can kind of run through this one because I don't think with what we just stated, with all of that lineup changing and the system change, we can really take a whole lot from this game. It's not an accurate representation of the team that we are going to field on a week in, week out basis.
Yeah.
But it was fucking bad.
It was horrid.
Yeah, it was bad. We start the game off. It actually didn't look that bad to begin with, I would say. It felt pretty back and forth, we were hanging in there.
For 15 minutes.
Yeah. And then then it kind of all falls apart when
this small Argentinian man,
former
5'3" MVP
folks.
of the league,
Luciano Acosta,
just tearing us up.
Well, the chance comes
out there.
when they're counterattacking us, which is always when we're most susceptible, I feel like.
Yep.
And Doer's out of position, and Celio is the furthest man back on the left-hand side. And I don't know if it's Kubo or who it is that plays the ball out to Acosta out on the right-hand side of the 18, but he takes a touch inside, and then Celio is sizing him up. He takes a touch back outside, and Celio just wraps his arm around him. And when you're 5'3", man, you got to go down.
A small gust of wind will take you out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to our short kings out there. I was just mad about the penalty, and of course he slots it home to make it 1-0, which in this game felt absolutely insurmountable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Immediately over.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish we would make our left back just play permanent defense. Or a right back. I feel like we've had this conversation. One of them should be a defender and one of them should be...
Well, you know what FC Cincinnati do? They basically play 5 in the back.
Yeah.
And they pull it off very well.
We could see... I don't know, man. It's Totland, great. Other side,
very questionable.
Toss
and that's
anyone
why I'm
out there,
saying
man.
just stay back.
Yeah.
If you're going to get caught out of position so goddamn much, just stop getting out of position.
And the worst part is we're watching it back before this just to kind of refresh our memory, and Dewar is basically walking back when they are on a
Watching that highlight
threatening.
gave me flashbacks to Johnny Nelson.
Yes, I totally agree.
And just watching him trot back, I was just like in awe. Like, and obviously this dude's new to America. Like, I'm not. What's so funny about
what
that?
does that have to do with
it? Means that
anything?
I'm gonna give him a little more benefit of the doubt than I gave to fucking John Nelson because
I'm not.
he's new
He's
here.
played in Europa
It's his,
League,
like
bro.
third. It's like his third game. This is like,
bro, prove yourself.
I
He
agree.
played in better.
But no, I mean, I'm not going to defend jogging back on defense, but I'm not going to berate him like we berated John Nelson, is all I'm saying.
Well, we don't berate Marcanic like we berate John Nelson because neither of them are the player that he was.
Yeah, John
but
Nelson
they're
was
both-
a prick.
They're both pretty subpar, and it seems to be the biggest position of need in our team.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how we can imagine challenging for a title.
At some point, it's going to just look like we're putting duct tape on a fucking sinking ship if our owners don't start changing shit up
Some
with all
flex
that.
seal.
we're
Yeah.
we're dead last in spending, and
We got all that
somehow we've been finessing this league, getting wins at all.
Gam.
Well, we
Spend
finessed
that
last
shit.
year, and I think that was mostly
Yeah.
off of vibes.
That was the biggest finesse, it seems, ever.
Oh, what?
Getting first in the West last season.
Yeah,
That was a little Oakland A's money ball we were
Yeah.
playing last year.
Big
Only
time.
works one season.
and we're still trying to moneyball the league.
Let's get all these shit players together. No, I'm kidding. They're not all shit.
No, definitely
Just
Um,
most. No, I'm kidding.
No.
Unless.
Look,
not. Well,
we
okay.
need a left back. That's my main
You
point
say
here.
left back. For me, Marcanic is more serviceable than AZ at the 10.
But we don't start AZ at the 10 typically.
Well, I mean, I feel like he's probably had 50% of starts. He was starting at the beginning of the season, and then we moved Indy there.
Do you
Well, there's a
mean
reason
you
why
wanna
he's not
see
now.
Marcanic at the 10?
No. He's
No.
saying that like he wants the.
I'm saying like compared to AZ at the 10 and Marcanic at left back, I feel like Marcanic is more suited in that position, in
MLS
his
ready.
position. Yeah.
I agree. And I think there just needs to be more communication between the defenders about who's going to be out of position and who's going to stay
I think
back.
so too. I think a lot of our back line does happen with miscommunications.
Well, I think that speaks to the fact that fucking none of them played together before, man. Like, when's the last time Akil Watts was on the field?
Yeah.
Long time.
Dewar sees minutes after the 88th minute in it if he gets in.
Plus, man, he's new to America.
Yeah, he doesn't speak English. Wait, you speak English?
Speaky some English. I heard him speak
Hey,
English
buddy,
on his announcement.
Run, get on your fucking horse.
Yeah, seriously. Run back.
Yep.
Don't jog.
Yep.
I get there's a guy there already, but, two's better than one.
He's not a defender.
You're the
Yeah.
He's
you're
a
the
winger.
defender, bro.
He's our Brazilian
They-
MLS Neymar star boy.
He don't need to be back there.
Yeah, he get to go take a nap on the side.
No, but I heard I think it was Matt Baker was asking Carnell about what he saw out of Durr in the Cincinnati post game. And he was like, yeah, we're trying to get him ready every day. And it sounded like he didn't come out and outright say that, like, we're not going to see him at left back again. But that's what it seemed like, is that it's going to be Marcanic once he's back from suspension. And that'll be it for a while.
Yeah.
And hopefully all that time that he'll have to get acclimated to the different air pressure,
Yeah.
he'll be our saving grace.
The new line of latitude on the globe. Yeah.
Well, with that, we can move along to the second goal of the game, which comes from a cross that gets cleared by Tim Parker after he comes into the game. I think he got subbed on at half. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
He was a halftime substitution.
Yeah, we went into halftime only 1-0 down.
Yeah. It wasn't totally lost. It felt like it was, but it wasn't. So Timmy P comes on. Wasn't there one more halftime sub, Riley?
Yeah, Dorr comes out for Hebert.
Correct. And if I feel like that speaks to what was going on with the back line.
I mean, Hebert shifts to left back. Parker comes in for Deer.
Right. So Parker clears
and
with a
Kojima
header.
for Ostrak. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Just-
Kojima comes off for Ostrak. Kojima didn't really impress, and he was pretty meh.
Yeah.
Parker clears with a
order.
header.
It was a tall order.
Comes out.
for a drafty. Sorry, we keep interrupting
It's all
Ian,
good.
but
Him and Blom together felt kind of like a tall order.
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Blom
Ian.
coming back
okay.
from injury. Kojima first MLS start. Yeah.
Both pretty defensive players.
Yeah. I mean, Kojima be getting
Kojima
up there sometimes.
is a attacking player. From what I see,
No.
I say he very midfield.
Yeah, he's just
I
a
think he's just an
CM.
8.
He's a CM.
Yeah.
okay. Anyways,
I want an appropriation.
ball comes out to Luciano Acosta on the top of the box, and another miscommunication between our center backs and our left back and Celio, because Kubo is just standing with 15 feet of space. If you go back and watch this highlight, like if you watch all of these goals that happen against us, there is just such a glaring defensive mistake that leads to it.
It's the whole season.
Right, that's true, but it's just I don't know how Tim Parker is standing there asleep on the 6-yard line and doesn't just close out Kubo. Like there's another center back right next to you with no one there. Why don't you one of you go do something?
Yeah, and like when you see the goal in real time, you're like, damn, that was an incredible ball. But then you watch it back and it's like, damn,
Why
he
was bro
really just chilling in the
Why was
fucking
bro
box
unmarked?
on his own.
Bro is just standing there.
And just being kept on side, like the defense had a circle around him.
Yep,
just
because
using-
Celio was occupied by a man on the outside of the box to the left, and Durkin, I think, is meeting Acosta at the ball, and it's just bad, man.
It was bad.
It's 2-0. Definitely not coming back from it at this point.
Should have been a scrappier game. We should have seen some more fouls out there on that little boy.
Okay.
Throw his ass
Speaking
around.
of little boys, Matt Miazga gives us a little freebie in this one.
Yep.
Little
Passes
boy.
it into his own net.
Made my heart warm. Bro,
Yeah.
he flopped so hard on that one Celio challenge, and then you watch it back, and Celio doesn't even touch him, and he's like bitching and moaning and
He's
complaining.
like 6'3".
He's an MLS lifer for a reason, but
And-
he also
If you'll remember from the playoffs last season, he like went into the referee's fucking locker room after they were knocked out of the MLS
East,
Cup
yeah.
playoffs and fucking was like, hey, what the fuck, man? Basically, that's it boiled down to.
Yeah.
His own January 6th.
Yep.
Storming the Capitol.
And he never actually served that suspension either. I thought I'd point that out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
His own. No, I'm kidding.
Last but not least, the final mistake of the game is I forget exactly who plays the ball into Luciano Acosta on the left-hand side. Which one of our attackers is floating across the front line, providing a goal and an assist from the left, the right, and the center, like Luciano Acosta? Like, can we get somebody like that? Anyways, someone flicks a ball in between
I'll get on
three
it.
defenders, and no one touches it. They're all just kind of
Outside
standing
the
there.
foot.
And Acosta dribbles down to the byline, plays it directly across the 6-yard box, and who finishes this off? Was it Gomez?
Santos.
No
clue who that is.
Me neither. But it was the third goal in the game and truly put our hopes to bed. I guess speaking more generally about this game, I think I am completely and utterly done. I feel like I say this all the time after we watch something like this. Done with the Sam and Klaus experiment up top.
Yeah.
It should never happen again. Like, we should never put that lineup out. If you're going to do rotation, just start Sam on his own up top and figure it out behind him.
Or fuck it, throw Celio up there with a striker.
Yeah.
The only way I can see Sam and Klaus starting together is if Carnell just fucking has those two working on combinations fucking every day in practice and says, we're going to give this one final go now that you guys have built some fucking chemistry together. Because right now, it barely looks like they are teammates when they play together.
New plan, blue lock these motherfuckers. Lock them in the fucking facilities together.
Lock them down at City Park. Not like either of them looked good in this game. I thought Klaus, his link-up play was absolutely atrocious. He tried like 18 back heel passes that none of them came off.
Nobody ever can tell that he's going to do it.
Yeah, there's just no chemistry at all with whoever is next to him that he thinks is, expecting this pass that is never expecting it.
Probably because they're like, is he about to turn and make an absolute ridiculous attempt on goal, or is he actually going to pass it this time? What's he going to do here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely no way to know what to do. Should I make a run, or is this dude about to blow it past the fucking the post from 30 out for no reason?
Dude.
We
need some more chances, man. Well, okay,
dude,
we can touch on the very positive that came out of this game. Edu Leuven, for the first time in fucking 8 weeks, subs on and gets 15 or so minutes.
It looked all right.
Couldn't really get anything done in this one, which is I feel like understandable. But I mean, we haven't said it on the podcast yet, but Edu, we are hoping and praying for your family that everything goes all right, man. We love you, and we're so thankful that you're in St. Louis.
A fuck cancer?
Shout out to Boosie.
Yeah, shouts out Leuven, shout out Boosie, and
shout out Jeff.
Yes.
Oh, Jeffrey. I got you. Yeah,
the
spider.
it took me a second.
The spider.
Dude, so I was talking about Klaus. Sam in this game, like, that was the worst I've ever seen him play ever.
Just cardio.
He was just running around.
Agreed.
He could not take even a slight touch of the ball without it going anywhere but where he wanted it to.
His touch is atrocious.
He had one good one in this game that I remember, and it made it on that highlight tape. But, like, he finally makes his way up there, but because we're playing this 4-4-2, the only other player who's even up there, it came from a Berkey long ball, I think, and Sam controls it very well. And Klaus is, like, trying to make a break for the penalty spot, but Adeniran is just so fucking headhunter on goal that, like, he's not even trying to wait for Klaus to catch up to play him a pass. He's just fucking steamrolling, and he's gonna hit it. That's it.
Not into the goal either.
Nope.
Sadly
Side
not.
net.
Well, I think it pretty much sums up the game when within the first, like, 2 minutes of this one, Sam has kind of a breakaway where he's trying to beat a man for pace down the line, gets within like 5 or 6 yards of the goal at a really tough angle, but he does love just blasting it from there, and he blasts it like 15 feet wide.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, don't do that anymore. I thought AZ, while having a really horrible finishing night as per usual, didn't look that bad. Like, he was our best creative player on the field, but he also had the opportunity to fucking bring us back in this one and just to put a header from 2 feet wide.
I think AZ seems to be somebody that does better with a veteran, a captain presence. Like Leuven, I feel like AZ plays so much better when Leuven is on the field with him. I don't know why. Maybe I'm reminiscing on the old days when we were good. But last season, him and Leuven were a much better. It just seems like there's something different now. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just that AZ kind of sucks now. But also, I think Leuven is just a step above every one of our midfielders.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think you just got to start seeing some end product with him. Like, he had one good opportunity in this game where we're driving and Sam plays a ball out wide to him, and then he cuts it back in on his left and hits it near post, and the goalie, like, makes a pretty good save on it. And then the chance where he puts the header wide is just an absolute head scratcher, pun intended.
I think he's just too young and too green to be expected to be that main man in midfield. I think
Yeah.
the pressure gets to him because who else is the main man in our midfield? I don't know. Blom is like he can be a main man, but also
Well, it's so
he
weird
doesn't
now.
seem like a vocal leader on the pitch.
yeah.
I feel like probably the most vocal midfielder that we have is Indy.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I
Maybe,
think,
yeah.
I think he's kind of the most energy producing midfielder that we have, and trying to get people involved in the play
Mhm.
and do their job. Leuven, he kind of isn't more of a lead by example kind of guy.
Right.
He plays really well.
I'm not saying like
and-
leader. I'm saying like when Leuven is healthy, it's get the ball to Leuven so he can make some shit happen. AZ's just not ready for that,
Mhm.
and nobody else is either. I mean, who else is even close to as creative?
I think Celio's probably next up on that list. And a lot of games that we've been winning recently, it does kind of come down to get it out to Celio on the
On the
out
wing,
wide,
yeah.
and hope that he either puts one in the fucking top corner or plays in a beautiful ball.
In conclusion, welcome back indeed. I can't wait to see you start a game.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
was really hopeful because they had made that announcement just after the LAFC game
Thursday. Yeah.
And I was hoping to see him in LAFC, and then I was hoping to see him start in Cincinnati, but he's probably definitely getting himself back up to fitness, so I'm not gonna be I wasn't too disappointed because it seemed pretty obvious. But we will have one midfielder we hadn't talked about was Thomas Ostrak, who I felt like subbed on in the Cincinnati game and looked a step above most of our midfielders.
He was really good in that LAFC game, if I remember correctly. He looked like the only midfielder that was there to play in that LA game.
Yeah.
I've
been very impressed with him. He has picked up the engine of the midfield role, and just fucking carrying that ball all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Beat a man if he got to.
Perhaps we'll just go on a stinky little run here once everybody's rested up and Leuven comes back.
We need it.
We definitely need it. Not to say that we couldn't use some additions still. I kind of wanted to touch on, if you haven't, kept up with the MLS transfer news and stuff, the Marco Reus kind of saga as of right now.
It continues.
It does continue, but it doesn't look that promising for us anymore. Charlotte owns the discovery rights, and I kind of wanted to touch on that because I was just recently educated on what the discovery rights were. So basically, every MLS team has a list of 7 players that they submit to the MLS front office from around the world outside of the MLS, that if that player decides they want to make a move to the MLS, they have dibs, is basically
MLS
what it is.
dibs.
I got dibs.
And so what it is
Be
it's
mine.
kind of
I said it first.
it's kind of a way for the MLS to protect smaller market teams such as ourselves, such as Charlotte, who owns the rights to Marco Reus, in the event that a player wants to move to the MLS and they want that player, but they're not as attractive a destination as an LA, as a New York, as an Inter Miami. So it looks like whoever wants him is going to have to pay a pretty penny in GAM to Charlotte. I don't really know if we're ever going to do that, so it doesn't look like we're going to get him.
Mr. Royce, come get these gams.
Technically, Charlotte will get the gams.
Yeah.
We're going to be giving him just fucking raw money.
Raw money for the
Printed
gams.
fresh from the Federal Reserve.
Dude, just spend it. It would be such an uplifting transfer for this team. To bring in a veteran presence that has that kind of pedigree.
We got all these
Especially if he
we got
wins
all
the
these
Champions
fucking roster slots that we are
Not
low-key kind
using.
of wasting.
Yeah.
Tyson Pierce, I just found out, signed back to City 2. He's full-time City 2 now.
Okay.
He started the season on our roster, but still, fucking Isak Jensen, Selmir Pedro, both still on the payroll. Miggy Perez, makes sense. I'd like to keep him. I'd like to see him come back from Birmingham and be able to do something with us. But let's figure out what we gonna do with these other 2 loanees, because We need some attacking force. Isak Jensen has looked good for Voiborg.
Voidberg. Dude, swallow your damn pride and sign some old fucker with Techers already. Seriously, it seems to be an MLS necessity for a team to have their one little fucking geezer who's way better than every other player on the field.
What? But who is? I mean, Acosta's not. He's 29. He's not like a geezer.
Yeah, it doesn't
like in
have
his
to
prime.
be a geezer.
Yeah.
It can be a younger-ish prime player.
29's still on the tail end of your career.
Nah, 29 is prime years for a
As
striker.
a cam?
Yeah. I think it's still. He's within the healthy range.
Look,
How old's Marco Royce?
34.
That's 5 years apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marco Royce
That-
isn't in his prime.
them 5
but he
years-
walk all over everyone in this league for the most part.
Yeah, I do see what you're saying, but I agree with Ian. It doesn't have to be an old guy with Techers.
Okay, but if it's not an old guy, like
if it's a 23-year-old
then they're not
star
coming
Brazilian,
here, dog. They're
why
co-
not? If
Because
we got the
it's-
money,
it's St. Louis.
if we discover some young kid who's 23 who just wants to come to the United States and wants to get paid and wants to ball, we can offer that.
I mean, let's go hit the Brazilian league.
The problem
Hey,
is
Luciano Acosta came from Atlas, which that's a Mexican league team. Never mind.
that all of those players can get a better deal in Europe.
And yeah, this one.
So they always do. That's why we go after the retirees, because they can't
and
get a better
that's
deal.
what
in
I
Europe.
was saying.
I get what you're saying.
Luciano Acosta's 29.
There's just a very specific, like, weird niche kind of player that you can get, like Denny Buonga, Lucho Acosta. Like, these are players
somebody
that are
who
still
knows that they're not good enough for Europe,
right.
but want to make a fuck ton of money being the best. players in
What's
MLS.
Nashville? Hani Mukhtar is my
Yeah.
dad. Like, he's a very niche kind of
We've
player.
got
He's
Hani
not my dad.
Mukhtar's
He's not my
son
dad
in
this
the
season.
building,
Yeah. So,
He fucking put me up for adoption at the start of the season.
and nobody wanted you.
but I would be okay with instead of going for one of those niche players, because I feel like that's a very hard niche to kind of locate and still attract and bring in for fucking St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
If we can get Marco Royce, if we can buy the discovery rights, do it, bro. If you can convince him to sign the deal, just pay whatever the fuck Charlotte wants and make it happen.
Do anything.
It's crazy because like before all this discovery rights shit came out with Charlotte, I was like hopeful. I was
too.
I was
still
liking our
hopeful.
chances. I'm starting to like our chances a lot less.
I
Yeah,
am
but
too, just because I think
He
like
already said he doesn't want to go to bum ass Charlotte.
I mean, the other thing is that I did see that apparently he's not that interested in St. Louis as a city. Maybe Roman Berkey can fucking show him Balkan Treat Box or fucking the Forest Park or something and turn his mentality around. But
come on, dog. We got Union Station Ferris wheel.
you do gotta love where you live, and I get that, man.
Um,
I bet the front office considers that every day, how they can improve the city of St. Louis to make it more attractive for world footballers.
I think that we do good advertising for ourselves in terms of as a team.
Mhm.
Like the St. Louis City brand is, some of the best fans in the MLS, if not the best. And why wouldn't you want to come play for us? I mean, Dortmund is the best fans in Germany. Just come on over here, man. We got more money.
Just pay him a fuck ton of money, man.
We got $4 million just sitting around.
That's why I don't think it's going to happen. Is because I when it was going to be a free transfer, if we could just convince him to come play for us, I was like, oh, that makes it a lot easier for Lutz to like swallow his pride and just get one of these. And it's like from the Bundesliga where his roots are, so like it makes a lot of sense. But the fact that we're gonna have to give up all of this GAM, like possibly $600,000 or $700,000 in GAM that he's been working hard to kind of GM the team and be the lowest spending and just have all this pile of cash. It's like, when are we gonna fucking use it, man?
And then we have to waste it on some bullshit fucking
New
rule.
Yeah.
That's
plan.
honestly that's hurting the smaller club than it is helping them, because LA Galaxy, sure, if they want Marco Royce, they're gonna have the funds to fucking go out and buy him out of the
they
discovery
will change
rights.
the rules for any of these big teams. Like Inter Miami is a perfect example of like, dude, what MLS team with a salary cap should have Messi and Suarez and Sergio Busquets on the same team? Yeah, you're fucking lying to me. We should not be penalized for wanting to get this player and have to pay a certain amount out of our pockets.
Right. If he doesn't want to fucking go to Charlotte, he doesn't need to be on this discovery rights bullshit.
Yeah, I agree.
New plan. Marco Royce's rich ass pays the fucking
The game.
$500,000.
Hey, Marco, we've got this made-up rule here in the MLS. Basically, this other team owns your rights, even though you're not even in this league. Like, basically, like you're human.
Yeah, like
You're basically being human trafficked
like
to the
you're-
MLS.
Yeah, like they got a fucking TM on you.
It's a fucking crock.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So we wanted to update everybody on that. Finally, we take on the Seattle Sounders this weekend. Seattle. I mean, this game at home, Seattle are dog shit. They're without fucking Raul Rui Diaz, who's been their top scorer this season. Seattle are in, 13th? They are dog shit. We should dog walk them at City Park. And if we don't, I will be raising some red flags for sure.
I agree. We need to score some goals in this one because every time I think we are finally finding some, creative form, it seems to dissipate instantaneously.
The Chicago game was just false hope because
I
they
agree.
are
They're so
fucking,
bad.
They're so terrible.
And we'll probably do it again this week. We'll play a really bad team, score like 3 or 4, and then
we go to Miami.
Right. We go to Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
I'd like to go into Miami with a win though. So we do need to get one.
Yeah,
And I'd like
3
to leave.
points.
I like to leave Miami with a win. Fuck is you talking about? Bow.
Wow.
Yeah. So, do you guys have anything you want to say about Seattle?
Oh.
I mean, obviously we lost to them 2 times last season.
No, I
Not
don't
really.
care.
Just don't let Jordan Morris still on the team.
Yep.
Yeah, don't let him score. That's about
Yep.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it. And he won't. He's fucking sucks.
Oh,
Maybe
and
we'll
Charlotte.
get a-
If Charlotte is gonna, keep the discovery rights, don't sell him to LA. Just don't. If anything, just tell him fuck off. He can't come to the MLS.
Yeah.
Why would they even want Marco Royce when they have Ricky Puig? I don't fully understand it, but
I don't either. Well,
Also-
different players, but
yeah, similar position though. I don't know.
Going
Ricky
back to
Puig is
LAFC
more deep
for
line.
absolutely no reason. I was looking at their starting lineup, and they are going to be so much better once Giroud is starting
Oh, yeah.
striker because their current starting striker is 39 years old.
What?
Yes.
The guy who
man.
played against us?
Yes.
Damn.
what? That is kind of nuts.
Yeah, and like LAFC are kind of. What did they do this weekend? Oh, yeah, K Kamara. Yeah. He's a fucking MLS vet. That dude's played for like.
39, dog.
He's
needs
played
to
for 12 MLS
retire.
teams.
That's such a huge upgrade. Danny Bouanga with Giroud in the middle,
Yeah.
and headers are just OP in this league. But he's going to be doing bikes every other game.
I'm nervous for
Gonna
that.
re-hit that scorpion that he
Yeah.
fucking scored for Arsenal.
Yeah, man.
It's the ultimate, just like, we're going to have to spend money if we are
If we
going
want-
to compete.
Yeah. If we want to win,
And
like
if-
we can compete and still, be in the playoffs, like lower tier playoff team with our squad, I think. But like if we want to win something, man, we can't.
We can't just sit back and pray on a miracle.
Go
Yeah.
get Alvaro Morata.
Good luck.
I don't hate it,
I don't hate it either.
but I don't think he's coming here.
That ain't
Because somehow
Litz's-
he's not good enough for most European teams, but he somehow finds a starting role on
All of them.
just a random, top,
Juve,
yeah.
Chelsea, Atletico,
crazy.
every single one.
If we're not going to get Royce, save up that gam and go get Antoine.
Let's sign Florian Wirtz.
Yeah.
bro.
Okay. All right.
These are- that's
the
a
greatest young
complete-
player in
yeah.
the world right now.
My guy's 20 years old.
Come on, bro.
Um,
Bayer Leverkusen. He was in St. Louis, bro.
Xabi Alonso, come to St. Louis.
Hey, for real, we need him.
He'll come here when he's 65.
Yeah, and his mind's going.
All right, guys. I think we're just chopping it up
Rambling.
at this
We
point.
are.
So, thank you all for tuning into another episode of Soul of the City. I hope we can get a win this weekend so that
Soul
I'm not
Of the
depressed
city. Sorry.
this weekend. Yeah, that's about it. Like, comment, subscribe. We won't be doing an interview video. Jonah's having a baby, and we're going to find out if it's a boy or a girl.
Oh.
Do an interview video
Yeah.
of
Oh,
Jonah.
damn. I
At
forgot
the-
about that.
yeah.
Jonah, I'm so excited for your baby, but I kind of want to go to the game. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, that's wild.
I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
Peace. Thank you for watching this episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media and Anchor FM. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at First Touch Media, and all of our socials are at First Touch 314. Thank you for watching.